What do you do then with that kind of cash now that you've done a profitable trade? How are you planning to redeploy that? Where does that go?
We are very committed to our, first of all, thank you very much for having me. First of all, we are very committed to our core business. We are very excited about our local travel market. The Saudi travel market is huge. It's currently close to 150 billion riyal. It's due to grow massively with the government policy and with opening up for both inbound travel as well as domestic travel. We have invested initially back in 2015 in our hottest travel brand, Al Musafir, and we have been able to grow that platform from almost negligible sales to over 2 billion riyal of GBV last year. We are committed to invest further into our platforms for consumer travel as well as Hajj and Umrah. We have been successful in rolling out our platform, and we are aiming to double our last year's achievement next year.
Yeah. Abdullah, I mean, you plan to then reinvest that capital to a large extent. Talk to me about how you see the health of Saudi consumers, because the conversations we've had on the set indicate that there is a stronger recovery underway. Do you see that as well in the numbers?
Yeah, absolutely. We are very optimistic about this year and the future of the Saudi economy. We are seeing the numbers growing this year versus last year, both in domestic travel as well as for the number of pilgrims and for Hajj and Umrah. And that's why we are very optimistic. The transaction at subject with Uber is a strong signal, a strong vote of confidence in the Saudi economy, and we are committed to reinvest the proceed from this transaction in our local business to grow our market share even further. That will serve the Saudi consumers.
I mean, Abdullah, with that kind of cash infusion, it sounds to me like you could get a little bit creative, maybe an acquisition to try and capture more growth locally. Is that on the table?
Definitely. We will not hesitate a second in making any acquisition that will further strengthen our competitive position within our core business of consumer travel, Hajj and Umrah, and business travel. So we are committed to invest further. We have achieved significant progress over the past few years, and we see a big opportunity in front of us. With this massive firepower behind us, we will not hesitate to deploy that firepower in order to gain much bigger market share and play an instrumental role within the government policies to enhance and increase the size of the tourism market in Saudi.
Abdullah, it sounds to me like you've already got a few ideas as to what could be on the shopping list for you in terms of acquisitions. Run me through what you're thinking at the moment.
I can't comment on specific acquisition targets. Still nothing concrete. But more importantly is the platform that we have built. We have built a very robust technology, product, data sourcing platform that will serve the whole Saudi market. And investment doesn't have to be acquisition. We can deploy that capital in further enhancing our platform, as well as for customer acquisitions. So we have the platform. We have been successful in rolling out that platform. We have been successful in, over the past 2 years, to grow our consumer and our online travel sales in the Saudi market from a negligible number of almost close to zero to over 2 billion riyal within 2 years. Deploying that capital doesn't have to be through acquisitive strategy. We will continue to enhance our product, enhance our platform, and continue acquiring a bigger market share through our own platform.
Are you looking to raise any debt to help leverage the firepower that you have in terms of the cash balances?
We have a very healthy balance sheet. Our debt to equity is at very prudent levels. We have been very prudent in running our capital structure. We have the liquidity even before the Careem transaction. we had like over $200 million in excess cash in the bank in order to strengthen our position. We are very liquid. Even the little debt that we have is a very long-term debt. So we have a massive borrowing capacity, but we have been running our balance sheet and capital structure quite prudently.
So that means you currently do not have any plans to raise debt. I want to close our conversation with a big picture thought from you on what's happening in Saudi Arabia. What's going to be the critical catalyst for growth for you going forward? Is it going to be what's happening with oil prices? Is it going to be more bigger projects from the government? I mean, what is it that has you excited, that's going to unlock new opportunity?
Definitely, oil prices is quite important to enhance the firepower for the government. But we are seeing a very strong signs on the ground. All the projects that were announced last year and the year before, they have been going through a very thorough studies and due diligence and planning. Now this year, deployment, we are very optimistic that deployment will start taking place. And we're seeing this on the ground. We're seeing like a lot of companies owned by the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, PIF, starting deploying that capital. Took last year and the year before in very thorough planning and studies. This year, we are seeing them. We are seeing very strong signs. We're seeing activities on the ground, actual construction on the ground, on a number of massive projects that the government announced. So we are very optimistic.